Hello everybody, it's Dale. I just wanted to put a little tiny video in front of, if I can figure out how to do it, in front of the next video coming up, as a disclaimer and also as a huge apology. When I set out to do a tutorial video today, I decided that I didn't have to get dressed up and cleaned up because I was just going to be sitting at my table. All you would see would be my hands. And so I am wearing the worst of my wardrobe because I was going to be mucking with glue and all that kind of stuff. I thought, oh, I'll just wear my old clothes that way. You know, I have a tendency to rub my hands on my legs with glue all over. And so I'm wearing the worst shirt. And worse than that, I am wearing a pair of old sweatpants with a great big hole in one of the back legs. And that wouldn't have been a problem, really. I mean, I wouldn't have even have to been here and tell you all this, except that I stood up 3 times in the video to get something, and you can see the big hole in my pants. I'm very, very sorry, and I am so embarrassed, but I cannot reshoot this video again. I have reshot it 4 times today, and I ran out of materials to make the thing that I was doing the tutorial on, mainly the heads, and you'll get that when you watch the video. So, you know, I may never make another video. I'm so embarrassed about this, but having had no way to edit this out of my video, and even if I had a way to do it, I wouldn't know how to do it. I really got to take some courses. This is nuts. Anyway, I have to leave it the way it is. So please, when you hear me say, hold on a minute, I'm going to go get something, close your eyes. You know, and don't judge me. I'm not a videographer. I'm a crafter, and my heart is in the craft, not so much in the video. So my biggest apologies, and I hope that you enjoy the video, minus the hole in my pants. It's not in the back, it's in my leg. It's in the leg of the pants. And actually, I was going to cut the pants off and make them into shorts. So for sure now I'm going to do that. So this never happens ever, ever again. Enjoy the video. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. It's Dale from Erndale's. Welcome to my channel. So today, I'm fulfilling a promise I made to some people who I was having a conversation with on a group on Facebook that I belong to. I had shown these little tassel dolls on there, and there were several requests made to me if I could do a tutorial on how they're made. So this is fulfilling that promise. Before I get started, I'll just have to tell you, this is about my 4th go at recording this. I have had nothing but problems this morning. First of all, it was camera problems. I'm using my cell phone right now, but I was using my other camera, and it just kept shutting off on me. I don't know why. And then my glue gun, which I generally use a glue gun to make these. The glue gun, I don't know, I bought some new glue sticks for it, and oh, just awful. So that is gone by the wayside. It's just been one of those mornings. Anyway, these are the tassel dolls. This is one that I did. And the tassel is at the bottom here. This is the tassel part. And then she has a ceramic head and hands. And then you just embellish them. They're very simple to make, actually. If your glue gun is working fine and all your other stuff is working fine, they go together really easily. But this morning, for some reason, that wasn't happening. So here's one. They're sort of Victorian, and I've made so many of these. Actually, the very first tassel doll that I ever saw was made by my Aunt Margaret. And if you watch my videos or have been watching my videos for a long time, you will have heard me talk about my Aunt Margaret. She was such a extraordinary maker of things all her life. And she gifted me with a tassel doll. I think it was in the 1970s. And she gave it to me for Christmas, and it was beautiful. And after that, that was the first time I had ever seen a tassel doll, actually. And I don't think I had seen one after that for a long, long time. And then they became really popular, I think, in the 80s, and everybody was making them. And that's sort of when I started making them. And I made quite a few because I was doing Victorian Christmas ornaments, and these fit in so well with that. But then they kind of went out of favor, like things do, and I quit making them. So a few years ago, I think about 5 years ago, I was at a garage sale here in our little country town, and the lady had a box of these gorgeous tassels. Look at them. Aren't they just, they're just amazing tassels. And I bought the whole box, I think, for $5 or something, and there was a variety of different kinds of tassels in them. And I brought them home, and I started making tassel dolls again. And to be honest with you, these are the nicest tassels that I have ever worked with. They're so thick, and there's so many different types of threads, ribbons, cording in here that they're just gorgeous. So this is one that I made. And then this is a different style, a different head, and I put a cloak on this one. They're still Victorian looking, and I think they lend themselves to that kind of a look. And just put together with glue gun, really, and scraps of fabric and a little bit of embellishment, a little bit of feathers, a paper flower. This is, I think, off of an earring or something like that. So very simple to do. And I will show you how to do them. So first thing you need to do is have a tassel, of course. And depending on where you are and, what kind of stores you have, I know tassels are usually in a sewing department, I believe. But here are some of the tassels that were in that box of tassels. And actually, there's more here too. So tassels come in all sizes. This is a very small one, beautiful, shiny tassel. This would make a small doll. And here's one that's a little bit bigger. And then a little different again. And then, of course, these gorgeous big ones that I made my dolls out of. So when you are purchasing a tassel for a tassel doll, there's a few things that you want to kind of look at. The tassel part, the fluffy part, that's the skirt. That's going to be the skirt of your doll. And so for this particular tassel, I made the waist here. When I look at this, I see this as the waist line of the doll. And then all of this is the skirt. Here's the bodice, and this would be the shoulders. So you sort of look at a tassel like a body. And that way you get the idea in your head of sort of how you're going to go about putting your doll together. These smaller ones, it's the same thing. Here's your waist. This would be your waist, this part. There's your skirt. This would be your bodice. And this would be the torso. And this would be your shoulder. This little one is a little bit different. It doesn't really have a torso. It's more just a waist. So your doll might be a little bit different. Same with this one. This one actually has a very nice body on it. There's a very slim body. It doesn't have the big waist, but that's okay. You could do something really nice with this. So that's what you sort of have to look for when you're buying a tassel to do a tassel doll. And I can't really tell you where to get the tassels because, like I said, every place is different. I think you probably could get them online. I don't know where. Maybe Etsy shops or I don't know. But you just have to search for the kind of tassel that you want. Then the other thing you need is a head and hands. I don't know if you can see here, there's a ceramic hand here. And most of the times if you buy a ceramic head, there will be a set of hands that come with the head. You want your head to sort of fit the size of your tassel. So for instance, if I'm going to make a big tassel doll out of this tassel, if I put this little tiny head on here, that would look slightly ridiculous. So you need to have the right size head for the tassel. So in this case, I would suggest that you get the head first because I think tassels might be easier to find than the heads. The heads, what I've done in the past is I have gone to dollar stores, and especially around Christmas time, around now when they have putting out their Christmas stuff, you will find angels that are pre-made that are actually not really well done, and they're cheap, but they have a porcelain head and they have hands. So if they're of a good size, I buy them and I just tear them all apart, and I only use the head and the hands. The rest of it I throw away because it's usually not really all that great anyway. So this little head might work really nice on this little tassel, and she would look really nice on this tassel. She's the right size. Or maybe even this one. No, I think she's a little small. No, she probably would look okay on this one too. But for a big one like this, you need a bigger head. So I have a couple of big heads here. They're roughly the same size, these two heads. We'll see. That one might work, but to me, her face is too young for the shape of this body. She looks more like a girl than a woman. So I don't think I would use this head. This head, on the other hand, is more fitting for this tassel, I believe, because it's more of a woman's shape and it's a woman's face. So, you know, these are all little things that you want to consider when you're going to put your tassel doll together. So I think today I'm going to use this head. Well, I don't think it, I know it. I'm going to put these away. And like I said, I've been trying to do this tutorial already. So I've already cut off the tassel cord, like this part here. You don't want that, cut that off, but you can save it. You might want to glue it back onto your tassel doll to hold, you know, to hang your doll. Some of them have really, really nice finished cords on here, so don't throw it away. You might use it. And there's mine. And then the next thing you do, so you've got your tassel without the cord. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take and glue this tassel up into the body of, or the neck of this doll head. Jeez. And I had this already glued with my glue gun, so that's what this thing is on here. So you're just going to glue that into there like that. I'm not going to use my glue gun because it's really behaving very badly. So for today, well, actually it's not only for today. A lot of times I don't use a glue gun. If I've got time, I use white glue, and that's what I'm going to do this time around too. So I have my white glue here. And I'm just gonna, and it's been sitting a while, so it's quite tacky, which is good. So I'm just gonna put this all up in here. And I'm going to put my head on there. Okay. It doesn't, this part, stuff that's falling down here, it doesn't matter. That's all gonna be covered up. So we have the head on our tassel. I'm just gonna put that down here for a minute. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to have your hands. This is how you get your hands. They're just from here to here. I cut a piece of chenille pipe cleaner to about the proper length. This might be a little bit too long. The length should be, your hand should come down just below your waist. So I'm going to have to cut some more of this off, but before I do that, I'm going to cover it. So you cut a length of chenille stem and just glue it into the hand. And I've done this twice, but this one I've already covered. Then what you're going to do is you're going to select some kind of fabric that you're going to use for your bodice and your sleeves of your arms. Now you can use whatever you want. You can use a brocade, you can use velvet, you can use lace, whatever you want, however you want your doll to look. I have found this really pretty ribbon. I don't know where I got it from, but it's gorgeous. And I like using a nice ribbon sometimes because the edges are so nice. You don't have fraying. You don't have to like fold it over to have a nice edge. It's already done. So this is what I'm going to be using for my doll, for her bodice and for the sleeves of her arms. And I've already, because I'm using glue and it's taking a little bit longer, I've already applied one piece to my arm, to one of the arms. So I'll do this other one because we want to have the arms ready. We put the arms up in here before we put the bodice on the body. So I'm going to do the other arm now. So I've cut a piece of fabric and I'm just going to lay that on there, and I'm going to glue it on there. And it's much faster with the glue gun, but like I said, mine's not behaving. I'm just going to put the glue on the fabric. It's a little bit easier when you're using white glue to do it this way because then you can just wrap it around. And actually, I just prefer to use my fingers. So I'm going to put this arm down like this. I'm going to have the seam on the inside of the hand, not on the outside. Not that it really matters. I mean, it's just a little doll, really. And I'm just going to take and wrap this around. And I'm going to roll it. And then I'm just going to squeeze it tight. And it's going to come apart, of course. Why wouldn't it? Put a little bit more glue here. It's a lot fiddlier with white glue than it is with the glue gun, but I don't have a choice today. Things aren't working my way with the glue gun, so I'll just do this. And the nice thing about white glue is it dries clear. You don't see it. You can put it on top and you won't even notice it when it's dry. So I'm just going to leave that now and let it dry a little bit. So the next thing then we're going to do, we have to wait until this dries, and then we're going to put each arm up in the little hole here. There's a little hole on, I don't know if you can see. There's a space here and there's a space here. We're going to shoot some glue up there and we're going to glue our arms, the right arm to the right side, and the arms will be on there. So I can start with this one because this one is already dry. I'm going to measure her arm. It should be about like this. So this is like way too long. I'm going to cut it about here. And I'm going to lather this up with lots of glue. And I'm just going to insert that up into here. And I'm going to leave it. Now, again, if I had a glue gun, it would be so much faster. But I don't. So that's going to just be in there. Now, the other thing you want to think about is, okay, Okay, I know that I'm going to use this for my bodice, and I'm going to be putting that around, once I get the other arm in, I'm going to be putting this around here like this for my bodice. But you should think about maybe what are you going to add lace or trim or, you know, things like that. And because I have to wait for this glue to dry a little bit, I'm going to start selecting my laces and my trims. Now this doll, I sort of just put, after I got the arms and the bodice done, I just put a little bit of lace around here, sort of like a shawl. And I really like that. I think it looks cute. And it doesn't cover up this pretty part here or, you know, the arm too much. But it just sort of finishes it off. So I might do the same thing here. And then also, if you want a hat, if you want to make a hat, you have to decide now. Now would be a great time to make a hat too. So I think I will make a hat with this one. And I will need to make a circle with something. And I think I have, here we go. I got this material here. And I'm just going to cut a circle and use that for the inside of that hat there. I don't know if you can see. It's just a plain circle. And then I had put some lace around the edge and some trim. And you can see this was the material in the middle here. And then just some bling to decorate it. So I'm going to do the same thing. Only thing is, I'm going to cut a circle and I'm going to use this for the bottom. And I will put a piece of this on the top. So you're going to still see, I'm going to glue these two together. Let's just do it. I got to find something with which to trace a circle. I will be right back. Just hold on. Okay, I found a lid just off of a jar. That would make a really nice size hat. I'm just going to move her over. Just make sure that that arm is staying in there, and it is. So I'm just going to trace. Actually, I like this shiny side. I'm going to use this duller side as the back. So I'm just going to trace around here. And I'm going to cut it out. So while one thing is drying, you can be working on the next part. So I'm just going to cut this out. And it doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't matter. It's just a tassel doll. It's just an ornament. So I've got a nice, I like this shiny part. Actually, I think this is the same material. It is. It's the same stuff that I used for this other doll. So I have this. Now I'm going to cut a smaller circle from a piece of this. So this one I'm just going to wing it. Let's hope I can do a good job here. This is very pretty ribbon. I think it was actually on a package or something. Like a gift basket or something that I got at one time. So I'm going to glue this onto this. And again, I'm just using my fingers because that's what I do. Just going to glue that on there like that. Okay, so now we want to embellish this a little bit. So like this one, has some lace around here, around the edge. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I just need to find what kind of lace. And I have, see all this mess? This is just bags of little scraps of lace and things like that that I have laying around. I don't throw very much out, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know. Don't like that. So I have to find something here. Now, oh, the thing about the lace is now, because there's some white in this material, in this thing, I can go with red, black, ecru, there's a little brown in there. I can go with white. So I'm not, like this one, I tried to keep it all in the same color tone because I sort of set the tone with having, you know, the same colors going through. This one that I'm doing now, I don't really need to do that. So I can choose any color, really. Nope, I don't want that. Oh. I actually don't know what I want. Oh yeah, I do. Oh, look at this. Look at that. That'd be kind of difficult though. This is what I was thinking of here. This pink. No, I don't think so. It's too big. But this is pretty good. I don't know. Don't think so. The thing with me is I'm quite fussy about stuff. I might have to go and get some more bling. I know I have one somewhere. Look at that, a little hat pin. Actually, this isn't too bad. Actually, I think that I'm going to stick with ecru, come to think of it, and I know what I'm going to use. I have this. See this? I've used this, it was a yardage. Actually, somebody gave this to me. And I've used this scalped edge so many times on so many projects. And I think this is what I'm going to use, to be honest with you. I'm positive that's, so I have to cut this off. We will see how this turns out. Just going to do a real fast cut on this. I've used this to embellish so much stuff, and I have still yards and yards of this left. Okay. I don't know if that's going to be enough. So I'm just going to trim this off just a little bit more. The one side is trimmed fairly well. Actually, it's this way. So I think what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to glue it like this all the way around. I'm going to take my toothpick this time, and I'm just going to run some glue around here. Don't need it that thick. Like I said before, it's so much faster if you use the glue gun. But I don't know if my problem is the new glue sticks or the old glue gun. I have a feeling it might be the old glue gun. It's just not working properly anymore. And I tend to buy the cheapest glue gun I can find. So perhaps that's why I'm having problems, because it's not the best glue gun to begin with. Just cutting this in a little bit. I don't care about having this netting on here. It can stay on there because I'm going to cover it up anyway. So I'm just going to, I think I'm just going to lay this like this. Actually, I think I'm going to cut them individually. And do this with them. And take this one off. I know this kind of looks funny, but I think it'll work out. Which way does it go? This way. You can just play and do whatever you want. There's no magic to this at all. There's no rules. Just create however and whatever you want. I need one more. Like that. Oh, need more glue. This is going to be a big hat, but maybe not that big. Okay. So we're going to let that dry, and we're going to see if this is dry enough. I think so. I'm just going to cut it. And I'm going to put some glue up here. And maybe a little bit on the end here. And making sure that my hand is the right way. Stuff that in there. Oh dear, came apart. It's not quite dry, that's why. Be so much nicer to have a glue gun, not so messy. Okay, I'm just going to leave that alone. So what we can do is keep working on our hat while we're waiting for this to dry. So we've got, this is the top. Now I don't need, on this hat here, I don't know if you can see, tip this a little bit. You can see I have a little bit of a trim here, around here, and then I've got some beads, and then I've got some flowers. So what I can do, I don't need to really put a trim because this is sort of a trim on its own. But what I will do is maybe put some finer trim, like something like this, or actually, I could put this from the top on here, just around like this, so that I have something to set my little flowers in. I could do that. Or I could put some red ribbon around, but I don't want to do that. Or I could just put some beads. And I actually think that's what I'm going to do. Is just put some beads around. I have these little strings of pearls. And I could just glue a little string of pearls around. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take my glue, just make a little circle. Somewhat. And deal. Honestly, I think today's just not the best day for me to be doing anything. I seem to be having all kinds of issues with my fingers, with my equipment. There. And I'm going to move this up. I'm going to cut this right there. And right there. And we'll just work that in. There. Okay, we're going to leave that dry really well. And where's my bodice? You see what I mean? This isn't the best day for me to be doing stuff, obviously. Where's my bodice? Gosh. Here it is, way over here. Okay. So now, what we're going to do, I'm going to set this away over here. We're going to glue our bodice over our arms. And the arms are not drying very well. Okay. So once again, I'm just going to take and put a bead of glue along here. I'm not going to put this too high. I want to put it just along on the edge, the top part of the bodice, because I might put some jewelry on her neck, sort of like what this one has. So I'm just going to put this along here like this. And then I'm going to flip her over. And I'm going to do the same thing along here. I actually really like working with white glue when you've got time to let it dry. There's nothing quite like a white glue bond. It never comes apart. I've done this with the eggery that I've done and a lot of the miniatures that I've made over the years. I've only ever used white glue and it's never let me down. And as you will see in an upcoming video where I'm going to be repairing some of my Christmas tree ornaments. My tree at Christmas is, I would say, 98% handmade ornaments. And a lot of them are eggs, goose eggs, chicken eggs, duck eggs, that myself and my mom did in the years ago. And everything on, they've got jewels on them, lots of braids, and they're beautiful. And over the years, just now, like some of them are from the 80s, just now I'm having to re-glue some of the beads back on. You know, there's just starting to come off. And all I used was Elmer's white glue to put these together. And all these years, they have stuck just fine. Even the hangers were put on with white glue. So I believe in white glue. I really do. I know. Now this isn't going to stay like this. I'm going to tuck this in at the waist as well, but I got to let this dry a bit first. My arms are not cooperating really. I am going to tuck that in quite a bit, but I hope you can see that she's starting to kind of come together a little bit. Now, this looks like she has a big tummy because of this. But I think once, I really don't want to move it too much because of these arms. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to mess with it. Now this hat, I just want to see. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. What I want to do is I want to get some flowers and things to decorate the top. So I'm just going to go and get my flower things. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. So I have containers of embellishments, all kinds of embellishments. These are all paper flowers. So I'm going to go with, color-wise, I think I'm going to go with what have I got in here? Oh, there's some ribbon flowers in here as well. Actually, nope. Here's a good one. There's a nice flower right there. Little rose. But I want some I thought I would have more pink. But, oh, here's a a white one. Here's a white one. Oh, we'll do that one. And when you're decorating with flowers, again, I'm going to mention my Aunt Margaret. She was a professional floral arranger. Oh my gosh, did she do beautiful arrangements. And I remember one time I was working on something and I was putting flowers on something and I put 4 flowers. And she said, no, 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 that's not what you do. Always have an odd number when you're doing a flower arrangement. You must always have 3 or 6 or 9 or 12, but never 2, 4, 6, or 8. I'll never forget that. And I've always stuck to that. And she was quite right, because my flower arrangement with 4 looked hideous, but the one with 3 looked great. So you want to know, if you're going to be putting flowers on something, go with an odd number. So I think I've got 3 flowers here. You can't see that because I'm not in focus very well. So I've got 3 little flowers. I'm going to move this up, and I'm just going to put them on here. Actually, I'm going to put this on the flower itself. So I'm going to put one there, and a little white rose. I'm going with all roses. And there. And a tiny little rose. Oop, stuck to my finger. In the middle. And not done yet. I gotta get another thing. I'm going to add a little bit of this black. This is just eyelash yarn, just a scrap of it. This color right here, from here to here, is perfect. So I'm going to just put little tiny pieces of it. Just to add a little contrast color. There we go. Okay, so the hat is pretty much done. Now, how's this going? This arm is not staying in. But perhaps when I tuck the bodice in, this will work. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of glue right on the stem here. And I'm just going to push that in so it gives it a little bit of definition on the bodice part. And this will also help keep the arms in place too. Okay. This arm is not staying in for some reason. I don't know why. It's not behaving at all. So there you go. This is how you make your doll. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to finish her right now because I got to let for this glue to dry, but you get the idea of how to put the basic doll together. So here she is. I'm going to embellish some more in here. I might put a big long ribbon through here. I might put some lace around here. I could even put a string of pearls. I'm going to put her hat on once it's all dry. I'll put her hat on. I might even do like I did with this doll and give her a little bit of a stole with some lace. But for now, this is all I'm going to be able to do because I have to let this dry. I don't want this all coming apart on me. So I will come back in my next video and I'll show the finished doll, and we can sort of go over her again. But this is where she is so far. It looks like she's got a big belly right now, but you won't notice it when I get it done because I think I will put a stole on her like the other one. It'll cut along this part here. So I love the color. She's coming along, and this will be her hat. It'll be folded down like this once it's all dry, but it's not dry yet, so I don't want to do that. Okay, well, come back on my next video and I'll show you the finished doll, and I'll show you some of the other things I've been working on. I have a craft sale and show and sale coming up next month, middle of next month, and I've been working really hard getting things ready. So at that time I will show you some of the other things that I have been making for my sale. Most of them you haven't seen before. There's knitting and all that kind of stuff. You've seen that, but I have some other things too that you haven't seen. So I hope you find some tassels and some heads and try and make your own tassel doll for your Christmas tree. They really are pretty. This one has a really pretty face. I like her. So I'm going to leave this here now and let it dry, and I'll come back a little later and finish it up for next time. Thanks for watching. Bye now.